I think it's pretty safe to say that by far, one of the big exciting elements of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker not only has to do with Kylo Ren and what his endgame is really going to be in this movie, but also all about Rey's identity, her lineage, where she comes from, and who she really is, and how that's all going to be organized into this film by director J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the thing about Episode 9 is that we do know that the very center of this story is all about Palpatine, Rey, and Kylo Ren. These three main characters are really going to be used in different ways by JJ, George Lucas, and Chris Terrio, in ways that the fans would have never expected to see on the big screen, which honestly really does create a lot of curiosity within my mind as to exactly how it's all going to work out on the big screen, visually speaking, of course. Now, beyond all of this, what's really exciting about all things related to the character of Rey and her identity is that these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the big plans by Disney, Lucasfilm, JJ, and George, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that it's described that during the rewrites of the film, during the months of November and December of 2018, is when George Lucas was heavily involved with the rewriting process of adjusting the second and third acts of Episode 9. It's explained that part of adjusting the script included changing Rey's lineage and identity that would serve as a massive revelation at the end of the film by JJ and George. It's described that one of the big changes to Rey's identity involved how the reveal of her identity will change how fans view the characters of Luke Skywalker and Palpatine, and that the reveal of Rey's identity is aimed to be bigger than the I am your father moment from The Empire Strikes Back. Additionally, it's explained that Rey's identity was also inspired by a canceled Star Wars Legends story that was rejected by George Lucas back in 2006 that is now going to be a part of the film and was used as inspiration of Rey's identity reveal in the movie. Now, it's described that her lineage is said to be the very core of the third act of the film and will create the ultimate test for Rey as a character of if she will stay as a hero or a villain in the film. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, the thing about Episode 9 is that, yes, we do know that it's going to be a revelation film. The entire movie is going to have a lot of different twists and turns that will come out of left field for us. You know, even Eunice Suetamo, the guy who plays Chewbacca, said that the entire movie is a I did not see this coming moment. So I want to go over Rey's identity here and the big plan by Disney and Lucasfilm and why it's very interesting. Now, it's actually described that Rey's identity reveal is going to have a massive impact on the characters of Luke Skywalker and Palpatine. Now, we've been hearing a lot of hints and or indicators out there that she could very well be the granddaughter of Palpatine, but even if that is the case, how would that necessarily impact the character of Luke Skywalker? Well, there's also a lot of hints and or indicators out there that it was Palpatine himself who was the one responsible for creating the Skywalker bloodline. And if she is indeed the granddaughter of Palpatine, maybe she does indeed have some kind of connection to that Skywalker lineage in some way, shape, or form, hence why the Skywalker saber calls to Rey in The Force Awakens. Now, the other thing that I do want to go over is that George Lucas actually used an original and rejected idea back in 2006 for Star Wars Legends that was used as inspirational source material in order to tell the story of Rey's identity and her real name and exactly who she really is in Episode 9. So a big part of that actually comes from an abandoned idea back in 2006 that involved, of course, you know, either the characters of Luke and or Palpatine that was rejected back in 2006 in the mid-2000s. Now, everything related to the EU, we do know that it's going to have a large role in Episode 9. In fact, the expanded universe really is going to be transferred quite significantly into canon material using The Rise of Skywalker in different ways. Hopefully, it's going to stay accurate to what they did with Palpatine in, of course, Star Wars Legends and everything related to Luke Skywalker and things around those lines. But the thing that really gets me as well is that we also are going to have Rey's identity as the core of the third act. So the third act of Episode 9, give or take, it's the last 45 to 50 minutes of the movie, is all going to be centered on Rey's identity and how that's going to really create the ultimate test for Rey to determine whether or not she will stay as a hero or a villain. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that to me speaks Palpatine. There's a lot of talk out there that she is indeed going to have some kind of major connection to Palpatine, and as we went over about 6 months ago, is that when George Lucas hopped on board for the rewrite to this movie, is that he did indeed create a large connection between both Rey and Palpatine in The Rise of Skywalker that's really going to take fans by surprise, which could most certainly fit directly in with her being the granddaughter of the Lord himself, the Sith Lord of the prequels and the originals. And that's what I love about Palpatine, is that he's going to be very evil in this film as well. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again. No.